Hello and welcome back to the AA podcast. I'm your host, Aiden Hammond.
And I'm Aditya.
And this week got off to a pretty shitty start.
Yeah. So basically everyone that's watching this already knows Kobe Bryant passed away.
Pretty late.
Yeah, it's been a week.
Yeah. Kobe and his daughter Gianna and 7 other people died in a helicopter crash on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it happened like an hour or two after we uploaded the last week's episode.
Probably, yeah. So we were really on it this week, or last week.
It just sucks.
That really sucks, yeah. I don't really want to talk about this for too long, because it kind of bums me out, and I also don't really want to sound like we're trying to capitalize on it, so I'm just going to say that it sucks. Rest in peace. I saw a crazy fact the other day that since the NBA started out giving the MVP in 1955, 3 of them have died. Wilt Chamberlain died, Moses Malone died, and Kobe Bryant died. That's it. And that sucks.
It does suck. R.I.P. Kobe and the other victims, and prayers to the families. I mean, there's not...
Yeah. Do you think that 24 should be retired league-wide?
No.
I don't either.
And I know that might sound bad, but the problem is that if we do this every time a legend dies, there literally won't be numbers anymore.
Yeah, and the Celtics already are going to encounter a problem in a few years here because they retire everybody's jersey.
Yeah.
It's like, I legitimately think they've have like 15 or 16 numbers retired.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really just sucks. And do you think they should change the logo?
I wouldn't be against it.
I wouldn't either, but I don't really think that the logo is just iconic.
Yeah, but Jerry West doesn't even want to.
They can do other stuff to support Kobe. Like individual teams can retire the number. I'm cool with that. I just don't think they should retire it league wide, especially because they didn't do that for Michael Jordan. They're not going to do that for LeBron.
Michael
James.
Jordan also didn't die.
No, I know, but they don't retire numbers league wide. They didn't do it. They didn't do it for. I think Bill Russell was he the first black player?
Drafted, yeah. I think.
So, but they didn't do it for him. The only player in any sport whose number is retired league wide is Jackie Robinson.
Okay. Speaking of Bill Russell, I remember a while ago there was that whole thing that came out because the Celtics tweeted out congratulations to Red Auerbach for drafting the first African American player, instead of congratulations to Bill Russell for being the first African American player drafted. I still remember that.
Classic Celtics.
It was so fun. But yeah.
So it really sucks.
Yeah, this whole week's been trash.
For news too, not a great week.
Basically, the entire league went on pause.
They're still doing are they still doing the 8 and 24-second violations?
Yeah.
Okay. I think they should just do that for the rest of the year.
I wouldn't. Again, I feel like they'll probably stop soon. Probably post All-Star break. Because I think a lot of the teams, I don't know.
Holy shit, dude. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. I was going to say, I know the Blazers and Lakers did it, but I think that's just because the Lakers...
Wasn't that the Lakers'
Yeah, it's the Lakers' first game since I haven't been watching too many games the past 2 or 3 days. I just haven't been in the mood.
Yeah. And the Clippers usually they cover up the Lakers' jerseys when they have home games, but they didn't for Kobe's, you know. It sucks. It's a pretty shitty situation for everybody involved. Even the people that I wasn't even a Lakers fan or a Kobe fan, and that hit me hard.
Yeah, because he was just we grew up watching.
You didn't really the guys like that aren't supposed to die.
If something happens to Dwayne Wade, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it made it especially worse that his daughter was with him too,
and that he left 3 of them.
3 daughters,
and one of them's less than a year old.
Yeah, one of them's a baby, one of them's a toddler, and one of them's 17, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Did you see that he and Vanessa had a pact to never ride in a helicopter together?
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, that's very smart considering what happened.
Yeah.
And did you also see that they were advised not to fly because it was so foggy?
Because of the fog, yeah. But, man. Now I'm depressed. I don't want to do this episode anymore.
Yeah, it's going to be a short one. We just got to get through about 20 more minutes.
Yeah.
All right, up next.
Victor Oladipos made his come back. Oh.
He plays tonight. He plays tonight too, I think.
Yeah. I didn't get around to watching the game because I was out playing basketball.
You didn't watch the game?
I was out playing basketball till like
Dude.
7:30, and then I came home and I had to tend to my sprained wrist, and then I took my dogs out, and the game was over by the time I got time.
Dude, it was over at it went till like 9:30.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched his first couple minutes coming in, and then I watched the last part of the game. I actually heard my dad from the other room. Usually when I watch games, I'll usually just put them on my phone while I'm doing something else. And I think I don't know. I don't even remember what happened, but I wasn't watching the game or I wasn't paying attention, and I just heard my dad go, "Ugh!" He cheered from the other room. I was like, fuck, something big happened. And Vic, it turned out, he hit 2 shots, 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3, Westbrook numbers.
No, on less shot attempts, though.
Yeah, on less shot attempts. But the one he did hit was the game tire.
The Bulls suck.
The Bulls are so bad, and that officially, I was pretty... I don't know. I was not as... Probably because I'm not a Bulls fan, and you are, but I was pretty forgiving of Jim Boylan just because of the situation. He inherited a terrible situation in Chicago.
But he made it worse.
It's just a fucking mess.
Yeah.
But he completely mismanaged that game. Okay. You're up by 3. You got about a minute left. Or not a minute left. You got the Pacers have the ball. All you have to do is either let them get a basket and not foul them, in the inside of the 3-point arc, or, stick your hand up when they're shooting a 3. And especially with the guy who's, known for having the clutch gene on their team, when he gets the ball...
The fact that he shot 0 of 6 might have deterred them a bit.
That's true.
But no, it still sucks.
But he hucked it up there, and it was just...
Here's the problem with the Bulls.
Vintage victory.
Last season, they were a somewhat decent offense, pretty average, a little bit above average. They could score the ball.
I was especially willing to forgive Boylan last season.
But they also just could play absolutely zero defense. And then this season, their defense is pretty decent, and they can't score to save their lives.
Yeah, and especially, even then, I was still, so I've never been, I'll defend Boylan a little bit when you rant about him. Usually I just let you rant, but sometimes I'll be like, that's not really fair, something like that. But, he truly
sucks.
Completely fucked them in that game. They scored, 6 points in 14 minutes? Mm-hmm. I saw that in overtime because the Pacers went on, a 12-2 run in overtime and just won the game pretty easily.
Yeah.
But I saw that stat that they had they had scored 6 points in 12 minutes of the fourth quarter, and then another, or 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, and then another few minutes in overtime, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
How are you guys, how's this team this incompetent? You're telling me that Zach LaVine by himself could probably score 6 points in 15 minutes. For Christ's sake.
And it's crazy because if the team does bad or whatever, he'll probably just make them run suicides or something.
Yeah. And, okay.
The players don't even, want to listen to him anymore. They just kind of ignore him on the sidelines. They hate him.
I don't even think they hate him is the other thing. I think
they just straight ignore him on, when he calls a timeout, they just don't listen. Zach LaVine just stands out there.
Well, Zach LaVine's different. But I think that the majority of the players
remember
him.
Last season when they had that whole thing going.
I think Robin Lopez hated him too.
Last season, remember when they had all that drama with he made them run suicides after back-to-back or whatever?
He was a high school coach.
They had a whole group chat talking about let's just not go to practice. Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen were the only 2 players that said let's go to practice. One of those 2 players is now completely ignoring the head coach.
Yeah, that's a problem. And the other thing is Lauri Markkanen sucks now.
Thanks, Jim Boylan, my favorite player, and you're turning him to a garbage can.
Yeah, I was shocked that they gave him a 4-year what was it, a 3-year extension?
The entire Bulls fandom was saying fire Jim Boylan. He went on a 3-game win streak and they gave him
most of their players were saying fire Jim Boylan, and he went I think he went I don't know like 9-2 in February or something last year, and they were like, we gotta keep this guy around, even though he was garbage for the majority of the rest of the time.
He's so bad.
Who's their coach before him?
What's his name?
He coaches at Nebraska now. I just can't remember his name. I think.
Why can I not remember his name?
I keep wanting to say Kirk Heinrich, but I know that's not right.
I keep wanting to say Dave Yeager, but that's not it either. he got fired too, though.
Yeah. They should hire Dave Yeager. He would do wonders.
I wouldn't mind Dave Yeager on the Bulls. Or really on the Kings, because Bill Walton's somehow a worse coach than Jim Boylan. Luke Walton.
Idiot. Complete.
Somehow a worse coach than Jim Boylan, which I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah.
But he's managed to do it.
It's just... Flick.
Yeah.
It's just a problem. It's like... the Bulls should be like competing for a 7 or 8 seed.
Fred Hoiberg.
That's who it is, yeah. The Bulls should be competing for a 7 or 8 seed, and they're just not. They're just so bad.
Technically, they still are because it's the East, but not convincingly.
But they're not going to get it. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're probably going to be like 10th or 11th. They're going to get like the 7th or 8th overall pick, and it's going to be the same play. They're going to be the same team for years and years and years. They're going to waste Zach LaVine. They're going to waste Larry Markkinen. They're going to waste Kobe White. They're going to waste Wendell Carter Jr. It's going to be a fucking nightmare until Jim Boylan and Garpax are fired.
And by that point, all the players will already be gone.
Yeah. Like, they need to completely... The Bulls should clean house. Garpax should be out of there. Gar Forman, John Paxson, out of there. Front office guys.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
It's not going to happen, though, because they've been terrible for the past however long, and nothing's happened. Because they had that little run with Jimmy Butler, Rondo, and Dwayne Wade, and now everything's okay.
Weren't Garpax there with Derrick Rose, too?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they made a couple... Didn't they make an Eastern Conference Finals with Derrick Rose, like, in 2010 or 11? I feel like they did.
They got taken out by the Cavs.
No, it was the Heat. I think in 2011.
Oh, sorry.
Because it was the year they won, like, 60 games, remember? I think 2011 was the year they won 60 games. I think they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Derrick Rose, obviously the MVP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's every few years they'll make a decent move. Like the Jimmy Butler trade was good.
Was it though?
Yeah, they got rid of him. He left Minnesota.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But they got like Chris Dunn and a couple.
And Larry Markkinen. They got the pick. Larry Markkinen with.
But Larry Markkinen isn't even good anymore because Jim Boylan sucks.
Right, but he.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
Levine. They have their few decent moves here and there, but it's just.
But it's overall just years of mismanagement of players and personnel, and it's completely like the Bulls won 6 championships in the '90s, and that's just like. They're just completely like they're a joke now.
Yeah.
Like what other teams with 6 championships are a joke? Like just in all of sports, even like like the Lakers are the closest thing I could think of. But that was like
en route to win a championship
at some point, probably in the next 3 years. Like I don't see them not at least going to the finals. Like they're gonna go to the finals. I think they're probably gonna. I think Kobe dying is probably.
Here's the thing. I think that motivated Giannis more than the Lakers.
Really?
Because Giannis was like they worked out all the time in the offseason.
Yeah, that's true. He was the only guy that Giannis would work out with.
Exactly.
Basically.
And remember, Kobe had that tweets like MVP next step championship or whatever, and that was like all over Instagram.
Yeah.
I think Giannis like deleted all his social media.
Here's the other thing. Okay, a little tangent. I don't want them to retire Kobe's numbers because I want players to like wear them.
I don't.
I want if Trae Young switches his number to 8, that would pump me up. I'd love that.
I didn't like. Paul George said he might switch his number to 24, and I was like, not in LA, dude. Like,
yeah, you can't do that, especially for the Clippers.
Yeah, that's more disrespectful.
Wearing 24 for the Clippers is like, oh.
And then this one Instagram page I saw, they posted like Paul George really did his best honoring Kobe tonight, putting up 9 points, putting up 8 points on 2 of 10 shooting, and he wants to switch his number to 24.
The other thing is, I don't think unless it's a very special case like Trae Young, You're right. I don't really want players to just all league wide start switching. But if like Trae Young switches number to 8, I'd be cool with
I want him
that.
to change his number to 2, not 8.
If
Because
players,
Gianna was his favorite player. He was Gianna's favorite player.
If players change their number to 8, that's cool. If players change their number to 24, they can fuck off. Because 24 is the more iconic Kobe number, right?
That's split. That's actually pretty split in the NBA community.
Okay, like 8, personally 8 is my favorite. But
I was around more to see 24.
Yeah.
But 8 is for the
24
for NBA fans that have been watching since like the early 90s or whatever. 8's more iconic because that was the three-peat.
Yeah, but like it's more thought that like that was Shaq's team, right? Like that's not disrespectful to Kobe to say that that was Shaq's team.
Yeah.
That he was the second in command, but 24 was where he was the best player in the NBA.
He was the best, but the Lakers had more success overall when he was 8. Even if it was because of Shaq.
Yeah, but his like individual contribution to the Lakers was better when he was 24 because he was like that's when he. Wait, when did he switch? Was it 2007 or 2006? I think 2006.
I wasn't watching much basketball back
then. I don't know, but he won the 2 championships where he was the bona fide leader, best player in the NBA, best player on that team, wearing 24. So that's why I think that 24 is a little more iconic. But the other thing, 8 was a little more exciting. It was like Froby, like he was like that was when he was like really athletic, like
and again, also for
more
some
like
of
early like okay, here's what it is. 8 when he wore 8, that was 80s Michael Jordan. When he wore 24, that was 90s Michael Jordan. Like he was more mature when he wore 24. He was a little like he didn't lose a step, but he like used his
He used his mind more than just...
he wasn't just dunking all over the place when he was 24.
But again, that's why it's so split in the community, because there's an argument for both sides.
Yeah. But also, if you're, like, pressuring players to switch their numbers from 24 or number 8, you can fuck off, because that's bullshit. Like,
yeah.
I saw people giving Alize Johnson some shit for not switching his number from 24 to any other number. And, like, no. If your number is already one of Kobe's numbers...
Well, it's also because he was a role model for so many players.
Yeah, like, he was the guy, like, how this generation's grown up with LeBron, and how LeBron's generation grew up with...
Yeah, like, Curry's been huge in the past few years.
Yeah. Like, we're going to see a lot of players wearing 30.
I don't mean to brag or anything, but I was Steph Curry before Steph Curry, you know?
Yeah, you know you weren't.
Yeah.
Like, I used to think that it was... I didn't really like that LeBron wore 23, because that's Michael Jordan's number. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's less of, like, a he took that number and tried to make it his own, and more of, like, just respect for his hero. So... I don't know. Like, it's...
That's why I don't see people stop... Like, I don't think people are going to stop wearing the number 23 until it's basically retired by every team, because they have a great that's worn number 23.
Yeah. And I think that it's, like... This is pretty much a ceiling. Like, LeBron and Michael Jordan are the best... Are going... Like, there's not going to be a better player than LeBron or Michael Jordan wear 23.
There could be.
There won't be.
We don't know what's going to happen in 100 years.
In 100 years, we'll all be dead.
No.
From global warming, dude, I'm telling you.
No.
You know, but I don't know. I don't think that players should be forced to switch.
I think it's just mob mentality. A lot of players have been switching, so people expect everyone to switch.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
I thought it was cool that Spencer Dinwiddie switched, but like I'm not gonna pressure him or anything. Yeah. But, you know, alright, let's get off that train.
Next up, Grizzlies versus Knicks. There's a little fight going on.
Yeah.
So
that was super duper lame.
What happened, basically, for anyone that doesn't know, Jay Crowder, there's like a few seconds left in the game.
I didn't watch that game.
The Grizzlies were up by like a lot of points, and Jay Crowder stole the ball off the inbound pass and shot a 3, and Elfrid Payton got mad and pushed him out of bounds.
So, okay. First of all, I know the score. It was 124-106. Because I remember, like, seeing that clip, looking at the score, and being like, you know, how much time's left? However, I know that the rule is if you're within 24 seconds and you have the ball and you're up by, like, 18 points, you just dribble out the clock.
It's like the unwritten end. Like, that's what all the NBA players think, but...
Just dribble out the shot clock.
Well, it's not exactly, like, a nice thing to do. I'm not going to be like, yeah, he shouldn't have done that. He deserved to get pushed.
Well, that's the other thing, though. When you're up by 18 with under a minute, which I think it was like 50-something seconds...
Yeah.
Don't steal the inbounds pass and shoot a three. Like, that's another... That goes along...
If the Knicks didn't want that, they should have made a better inbounds pass.
No.
Did they ever think about that?
You sound like a boomer right now.
Or they should have just not been down by 18 points.
Okay. So, I really want to tell you to fuck off right now. Because that is, like, no matter how bad the Knicks are, and no matter how much I love clowning on them, and I love clowning on the Knicks.
Everyone.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things. But I love you, Mom. But
sorry, Mom. The Knicks are more...
Sorry, Mom. My love for dissing the Knicks outweighs my love for you. But, don't do that. Don't steal the inbounds pass and shoot a three. That's shitty. And he deserved to get pushed a little bit for that. Or at least, like, if Elfrid Payton had jawed off to him, I would have been more okay with that. Because, like, don't put your hands on somebody else.
Yeah. Especially because that could be, like, whiplash.
But holy shit, Marcus Morris's post-game, Jesus Christ. Did you see what he said?
Yeah,
he was like, people are
making such a big deal about that. Who cares? It's really not a big deal.
That's a pretty shitty thing to say about an entire half of the population.
I still use I still use the word gay sometimes just to, like, make fun of friends. So
yeah, but you also shouldn't do that. Like,
yeah, but it's not a big deal. It's like, who cares? You know?
I guess, but...
Like, everyone knows he apologized because he was probably told to. He didn't actually feel sorry for it. So what's the point? You know, just let him be.
Yeah, but he should catch shit for saying something like that, because that is really horrible to say.
I don't know. I personally don't care.
Well, I know you don't.
That's all.
So, what is the next thing?
Oh, this isn't anything he said. Nikola Jokic was in a press conference,
Big boy.
He was answering a question or whatever, and at the, like, he stopped himself from saying no homo because he didn't want to get that $25,000 fine. So, because that happened to him, like, last season, I think, where he said no homo after he said something, and they fined him $25,000. And so he stopped himself. There have been a lot of dumb things being... Jackson Hayes told the NBA to suck his dick because he didn't get selected for the Rising Stars game. And he was averaging, like, 8 points.
Why would you expect to be selected for the Rising Stars game?
Yeah.
Alright, up next. Did we talk about Luka already?
We have not.
Okay, Luka's going to be out for like 6 years or whatever.
Rick Carlisle said he's expecting Luka to miss at least 6 games with an ankle injury.
Which sucks for the Mavericks.
Kristaps had a good game, though, right? In the last game? He popped up. But, yeah.
They're probably going to fall off a little bit, the Mavs.
Yeah.
Without Luka.
I don't know.
I'd say, like, best case scenario, they go, like, 4-2 without him.
I don't know what their upcoming schedule's looking like. I can pull that up real quick, but I can't imagine they do great without Luka. Because he's kind of, like, one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
And, he's somewhat decent at basketball. That's
he's fine or whatever. Like, he's probably not even that good or,
Yeah. So, let's see. They play the Pacers on Monday.
That's probably an L.
They play the... Oh, wait. This is all out of order. They play the Hawks tonight. They can win that one. Then they play the Grizzlies, the Wizards, the Hornets, and then the Jazz. So they have a pretty easy few games. Yeah. They play the Jazz, which is tough. Then they go back to the Kings.
Yeah. I'd say like 3-3 is realistic for them.
Yeah. Their schedule's super easy.
Yeah. But that also does suck because Luka's really fun.
Yeah, he's entertaining.
Yeah. What do we got next?
The last thing that we have for today, because again, there hasn't been much news in the past week. AllStar, the reserves were put out.
I'm actually okay with the AllStar reserves.
I'm all right with them. The only thing I would change is throwing in Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Because he deserved it.
Well, here's my thing with it. I think that if your team is bad, each conference, you get one forward from a bad team and one guard from a bad team. Trae Young is better than Bradley Beal this year.
Sure.
He deserves to be on the All-Star team. So that takes out the guard spot for the East immediately.
Well, not the reserve spot.
No, I meant like period on the whole team.
I don't care about that because it's.
I also
the
think it's
All-Star
kind of
game.
ridiculous that Trae Young's starting because they're so bad, but
Well, here's the thing. I mean,
like that's the thing I say more about the West. Like I think that everybody's biggest gripe is that Devin Booker isn't in it again, but the Suns just suck. They suck. Like you can't put a guy on a terrible team in. It takes away like kind of the part
the
of
whole point of the All-Star game is just fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be like the best teams. It's supposed to be the best players individually.
But that's the other
Plus,
thing.
you can't fault Trae Young for being on a bad team because he doesn't have Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Gordon
you can
Hayward.
because like if like like LeBron.
Okay, are we actually going to compare this to LeBron James?
What I'm saying is that really, really great players make win.
That's the top 0.01% of the league.
Well,
That's
All-Star.
like 3 All-Stars. That's Giannis, LeBron, and Kawhi. Those are the only players that can take a trash team by themselves.
Steph Curry.
He can't.
He absolutely
No, he cannot. By himself, no.
Give Steph Curry this team in 82 games, this current Warriors team in 82 games, not injured, with 82 games.
Well, the whole
He goes
team not injured, yeah.
He probably
But
goes...
that's still
No. Like, I meant not... Like, Steph Curry 100%.
Okay.
Give him this current team.
So, D'Angelo Russell.
No, take away D'Angelo Russell. Leave in Draymond, I guess.
Actually,
no, take out Draymond. Take out Draymond. Take out D'Angelo Russell.
He's not even making the playoffs.
Put that team in the East, and they win probably at least 45 games.
No way.
Absolutely.
No way.
It's Stephen fucking Curry.
Hey, do you know the rest of that team? And besides, Steph Curry wasn't even playing super great before he got hurt this season. He was shooting like 20%.
Well, yeah, obviously. Like, new building, new season, completely different roster. Like,
I don't like that they moved to San Francisco.
Yeah,
That takes away the whole magic of the Warriors.
Yeah.
There's no more Oracle. It's all just rich business guys.
With their business girls just sitting in the bleachers just making out,
No, I don't
What's
know.
up?
No. What are you doing?
I'm just looking around. Dude, my thing! Yes.
Okay. But yeah, I Steph Curry, I don't see him making the playoffs with that team. Unless Alec Burks continues to, like, pop off.
But anyway, that's besides the point. What I'm saying is that you get, from each conference, you get one guard from a bad team and one forward from a bad team. Because, like, the All-Star team, the other thing is, the All-Star team should be a reward for a good season. And, like, individual success, sure, like, it's cool, but, like, the team success is the real thing. Like, that's why DeMontis Sabonis is an all-star.
Not always.
If DeMontis Sabonis was putting up those numbers on, like, the Pistons, like, that's why Andre Drummond didn't make it.
Well, the problem with that is not every team is built... Like, the Hawks aren't built to be successful now.
What do you mean? They got John Collins, they got Kevin Herter. Like,
John
they're
Collins,
young.
who's
They
a
should...
third-year player. Trae is a second-year player.
Have they won single-digit games?
I don't know. I can check.
Like, they should... Realistically, they
they should have
shouldn't
double-digit
be this
wins,
bad.
but they're not built to be, like, a strong playoff contender.
They're not, but they're, like, a top 5 or a bottom 5 team. Like, they're gonna have a high lottery pick.
They have 13 wins. So they're tied for the 10th seed. Wait, no, sorry, not 10. The 13th, 14th, and 15th team are all 13 and 36.
Okay. So,
And
but anyway,
the Warriors are the worst team with 10 and 39.
You get... Like, that's why I don't think that Devin Booker should make it either, because the Suns suck.
Well, my only thing with Devin Booker is just that the West guard spot is super stacked.
Yeah.
All the time.
And Jamie Lillard's having a better season. Russell Westbrook's having a similar season on a better team. Like,
But I mean, you can also make the argument Devin Booker doesn't have a James Harden.
Well, yeah, but Russell Westbrook's been carrying James Harden.
Yeah, but the past few games also, like, the Rockets haven't been as good when James Harden shoots 2 of 18 from the field. Wonder why.
True. But what I'm saying is that the Rockets are still the 6th seed.
Which is weird. They've gotten consistently worse since losing to the Warriors.
Yeah.
In, what was it, 2018? Yeah. After having the best record in the league.
Yeah. But, like, so, Brandon Ingram's the all-star forward.
Yeah.
From the bad team.
Mm-hmm.
And Dame's the all-star guard from the bad team, and that's what you get. Like, everybody else should be... Like, that's why teams like Toronto, who maybe shouldn't have 2 all-stars, get 2 all-stars. Because...
Who's the second Toronto? Oh, Kyle Lowry.
Lowry.
But he's
like,
also,
Kyle Lowry's basically that spot every year. Because it's always
Kyle Lowry's having a good... The only player I think shouldn't be up there is Ben Simmons. Because...
Absolutely. That's
Sixers
fucking egregious.
have been so... they're not bad. They're in the playoffs.
They're underperforming.
That's what I'm saying. They're underperforming.
Ben Simmons is having a bad season.
He's the past few games he's been like playing well without Joel Embiid, but overall throughout the season he's not been.
Did he come back or did he just play that one game?
He's played. I think he came back officially.
Okay.
He's listed as healthy for my fantasy team. So.
Okay.
But yeah, Ben Simmons I don't think should have made it over Bradley Beal. That's the only change I'd make to the All-Star game.
Yeah, I'll go with that too.
Because Bradley Beal was legit. He was my starting shooting guard for my All-Star ballot. So.
Yeah, and this kind of happens to him, like, a lot. Like, even when the Wizards are good, he'll get snubbed.
Yeah.
Like, a couple years ago, I think they were, like, bottom 4, but still a playoff team. Like, bottom, like, 5, I think they were a 5 through, I think they were, like, maybe the 6 or 7 seed that year. He was averaging, like, 23 points a game and didn't make it.
Yeah.
But Devin Booker, no. I can't put Devin Booker in the All-Star game. His team is so bad. Like,
I mean... They're
bad.
They're
bad.
not great, but I wouldn't say they're completely, absolutely, horribly trash.
No, they're not, but they're bad.
Because they are 20-28. They are the 10 seed.
8 games below 500. That's like
no, they're 11 seed. Sorry.
Cat didn't make it either, but Cat's team is also around that. So like this isn't just. It's like I like Devin Booker. It's not just because I don't like Devin Booker. I like Devin Booker. I like the Suns. I don't think that you should put players from bad teams on the All-Star team. Like, it's just,
I don't know.
The All-Star game should be like a reward for having a good season, and part of having a good season is team success.
Yeah, but we can. This is an endless debate, so yeah. I'm not gonna.
Oh, other thing, is Zion in the Rising Stars game?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
I think so.
Are you serious?
Let me check.
I was, like, kind of asking that as a joke, because he's played, 4 games.
He might not be. I thought he was when I checked it. Let me check.
Because that's ridiculous if he is.
Well, he's already, 3rd in the new Rookie of the Year polls.
He also shouldn't... He shouldn't even be considered.
I know. Oh, boy. The dogs are popping off right now.
We're about to end it anyway, so it's cool.
Okay.
But
let's see.
Just see what Zion's got. See how Zion's doing, dude. The ball sack.
Yeah, he is.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of bothers me. Is Lonzo in the All-Star game? Or not the All-Star game?
He can't be. He's a third-year player. Rising Stars is freshman and sophomore players.
Okay, that's good. I thought it was just first and second, but I didn't know if it was like a rule.
I think Team World is going to not destroy, but they're going to win.
Wait, let me see it.
Pretty handily. Yeah, I can just
right.
read it out.
Yeah, so the Team World is Nickeil Alexander-Walker, DeAndre Ayton, RJ Barrett, Brandon Clark, Luka Doncic, Jesus Christ, Shai.
It's pronounced Shai.
Well, I like to pronounce it Shai.
Well, you're dumb.
Shai, Gilgeous-Alexander, Rui Hachimura, which I didn't think he was having that great of a season.
He's having actually pretty solid season.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention to the Wizards, so.
I only pay attention to Bradley Beal because he's on my fantasy team.
Svi
Mikhailuk,
Josh Okogie, and Mo Wagner, who sucks. Why is he on the team? He's not a rising star. He's going to be out of the NBA in like 2 years.
I mean, he's having a solid season for the Wizards.
This is an anti-Mo Wagner podcast, by the way.
I don't personally completely hate him.
I think you do.
I do not.
Team USA, Miles Bridges, Wendell Carter Jr., Devontae Graham, you just got a Pornhub notification.
What?
Tyler Hero. Why do you have a porn app on your phone?
I don't.
Well,
You're on the score. What?
Jaren Jackson Jr., Trey J, Ja Morant, Kendrick Nunn, Eric Pascal, PJ Washington, Zion Williamson, and Trae Young. Okay. If a player is already, like, starting in the All-Star game, they probably shouldn't be.
I'm sure it's fine.
They're not a rising star anymore. They're just a star.
I'm sure
There's nothing rising about them.
Nah, it's fine.
I've never even heard of Svi Mikhailuk.
Pistons shooting guard. He was I think he got drafted by the Lakers. He was, like, a good shooter. He's
Okay.
actually pretty solid.
And Mo Wagner sucks.
Mo Wagner's okay.
Dude, we
Can I
clown
have
him
my
all
phone
the
back?
time. Where's this coming from? Where's this pro Mo Wagner?
I make fun of him to annoy Noah, but he's like mediocre, somewhat mediocre.
I think he sucks, and honestly, if he pooped his pants on the court, I wouldn't even like be sad about it.
I don't think I'd be sad if any player did that, because that'd be hilarious.
What if tonight,
Dude, that's so...
the entire Pacers team at once, like almost as if somebody snapped their fingers, they all pooped their pants together.
I wouldn't like that. But let's look at... So I pulled up Mo Wagner's stats. In 20 minutes played per game, that's so loud, he is averaging 11.5 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, half a block, and almost half a steal.
Not nearly as bad as I thought, but still not.
He's shooting 58% from the field, 39% from 3, and 84% from the free throw line. So pretty solid.
But the Wizards also suck. So those numbers
I'm not
are
saying
inflated
I'm not
a
saying
little
he's
bit.
well. He's also like the backup, I think. So it's not exactly like he's out there pounding ass. But
that was really bad.
Yeah, but I mean he's solid.
Yeah. All right, you want to go ahead and wrap it up?
Yeah. Again, short. I mean, it's not actually that short. 36 minutes isn't bad.
Not horrible.
So
that's about what we've been doing the past month or so.
No, because we had like solid
we had
hour
one,
and 10-minute.
Yeah, that's
podcast.
true. But like 3 out of the last 4.
Pretty short, which is probably better.
Yeah, probably better.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's all we got
Bye.
for this episode. R.I.P. Kobe. Bye.